All right, so part deux. Um, so on the last video, last thing I talked about was molecular dispersal. This is what they desire in a late stage. And of course, I'm going to make a video about how all these things affect our worlds. You could say, molecular dispersal. This is the state they want to be in. Well, that's kind of like you guys with your cell phones. Okay. But that's, not where I'm going with this video. I'm not really trying to link their world with our world, and prove to you people that this world is just an extension of their world. I'm just going to talk about their world. So anyways, one thing about the molecular dispersal, I believe when we dream, that's kind of a type of molecular dispersal, maybe just your soul. But anyways, so something I probably should have mentioned earlier. This is just very random, so sorry. I was gonna say fuck you, but my apologies. This is very random. 99% of communication, I would say, 98, 97, is psychic. Okay, they only use words like when they want to express, like, it's like us when we curse, it's for an emotional, like, to show y'all how emotional we feel about something. So some of their civilizations down there will just mysteriously disappear. I guess kind of like the Aztec in the Mayan civilization. Did the Aztec disappear, or was it just the Mayans? And again, like I said earlier in the last video, their culture is vaguely, and their language is vaguely similar to the Aztec or Mexican culture. In the way they look too. Obviously not with the arenas full of horrible torture or whatever. I'm not saying that, but well, they kind of did that with the Aztecs too, didn't they? Didn't they have like the pyramid and on top of it got sacrificed? Anyways, so let's see where to go from here. Ooh, okay, very well. They're starting to lose interest in the underworld. Okay, they can only have so many advancements in torture and the disgusting sexual shit that goes on. It can only get to, it's reached critical mass. It's reached a point where they're losing their interest in shit going on down there, and they're starting to plot on the surface world. Okay, you have very, very seldom there will be outsiders that make their way down there, surface world people. Most of the time, they're just like Indians who, can't really give them much information. But very rarely they'll get somebody who's very intelligent, and when they meet one of these people, they'll start to fear outside invasion. And then on the other side of that coin, some will want to taste what this new surface world has to offer. So, losing interest in their shit, starting to plot on our shit. Okay? Now, they have vastly superior technology and could wipe us out probably. But they just have this soul-crushing apathy going on at this point. Okay? They're just so bored, and they're just so... just out of energy. That's too much to ask. They can't be asked to do that. Now, I was telling y'all earlier that this space devil, they believe, that the outer world people are space devils. But that faith and that ideology has died. Okay, now they welcome surface people, but you can never leave once you go down there. Not with your sanity. Okay, I talked about that earlier. And I'm saying I think I talked about this earlier too. They're different DNA, slightly different DNA, evolutionary path, allows for anti-aging. Okay, they only age because they want to. They like how it feels. Now, we can't do that. Surface world people can't do the anti-aging thing, but we can do a bit of dematerialization. For instance, like somebody bending the spoon with their mind. I don't know if that really happened or whatever, but or if that's just a camera trick. I don't know, but I'm saying just like stuff like that. And then the dematerialization. Some people can really travel in their dreams. I guess it's called remote viewing or something. So I'm saying that people from the surface world can do that, but the anti-aging, that's all them. Now, and this next thing, it was kind of touched on in Idiocracy, I guess, with selective breeding. You have the brain drain, okay, as well as a stamina drain. So the upper class is all smart and, they have stamina and smarts. But the lower class, they're just basically the gap between the upper class and the lower class. I don't even know if there is a middle class down there. But there's a huge gap between them just due to selective breeding. Okay. So the way, and this, we're seeing this in the surface world. I'm going to make a video about all this, but I just need to touch on this right now. It's more about feeling, okay, not thinking. You're going to have more success with creating little diversions for people, little goofy little games or whatever, than inventing something, some great new invention, okay? Pushing back the veil of cosmic mystery, they don't really care about that anymore. I'm saying when they used to space travel, that was so precise that you couldn't be decadent. Okay, this is a big thing with them, is decadence. And so, yeah, yeah, they used to try to push back the veil of cosmic mystery, but now it's just kind of, let's just disperse our molecules and just chill. So they have a slave class that comes from conquered tribes, okay, and they eat these slaves. Maybe not all of them, but remember, human flesh is desired down there, not just by the people, but by the animals they use. Instead of what they use, instead of using the gold and silver machines, magically powered or whatever, they just use these like beasts that kind of have a human face. They are kind of anthropoid, very disturbing, for travel and for whatever. Beasts. I think the beasts kind of come from the slave class. They're genetics or whatever. So here's something. Now, as I explained in a past video, a video I just made, The mound, which is where I'm getting all this information from. Don't think I'm smart enough to come up with this on myself, or by myself, on myself. But basically, Shub-Niggurath, this is a story about Shub-Niggurath, okay? And Shub-Niggurath is elves, okay? And elves don't age, which is kind of interesting. Also, I think they have connections to the underground as well, elves. Especially we're talking about light elves, especially the dark elves are connected to the underworld. Maybe the light elves are more in the forest, but we're talking about light elves here. And remember, they used to be monogamous. They used to have dignity and kindness. So it wasn't always, this degraded of an existence for them. Now, let's see. Oh, the way they move could be very strange. So maybe if you see them out here in the surface world, they just have a strange movement to them. Now down there, they'll have graftings. They'll be headless, transpositions of limbs, legs where the arms are supposed to be, arms where the legs are supposed to be. And a lot of them, you'll see them in the arena, okay? God only knows what goes on in those arenas, okay? Now, they have all these buildings, but a lot of them aren't used. Kind of like how it is here. These crappy-ass buildings they make that nobody even uses, and it's just not even worth maintaining them. Let's see. So cruelty, subtlety, revolt, cosmic abnormality, curious sadism, ignorance, superstition are all on the rise. This desire for this half-spectral state of electronic dispersal is on the rise. Rationalism has turned into fanatical and orgiastic superstition, centering on lavish adoration of the weird Cthulhu metal. Okay, so again, that could be your phone again. The Cthulhu metal, people just zombied out on their phone. They're just down there, they're zombied out on their Cthulhu metal. So that was rationalism has turned into that. So tolerance has turned into a series of frenzied hatreds, especially towards the outer world. So here we are in the outer world doing this. Our tolerance has turned into this. Frenzied hatred of ourselves, of our own world. Of, people that live on the outside. And so pretty much the last thing I'll talk about in this video is, or for both these videos is, I guess is the last thing altogether. So basically boredom they combat boredom with grotesquerie. That's the only thing that I guess that can make them feel alive. And I'm saying, how far can you push this grotesquerie? Down there until you say, fuck it. All right, let's go take over the outer world, which is what they're doing right now, which is the stage we're in right now. We're getting taken over by all this. I'll talk about it in another video. But for now, this is quite monumental, and everybody needs to watch these videos. So hop to it.